I've got a fabulous routine for you today to help relieve stiffness and tightness in your hips and low back so you can enter into the rest of your day feeling stretched out, more fluid, and relaxed. And stick with me to the end so you can discover how to get rid of the aches and pains of getting older and feel the best you have in years with just 10 minutes of fitness and flexibility a day. Now let's get started. So we're going to begin today in a tabletop position. So basically hands under shoulders and knees under hips. If you need some modifications for stiff wrists or hands that hurt a little bit more, make sure to check out my painful wrists, which gives you lots of modifications. But a couple of them you could do here is you could make a fist, you could come on your fingertips, or you can even grab like a step stool and put your forearms on it. So finding what works for you. From here, gently press down through the palms. Take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to round our back towards the ceiling, coming into our cat stretch. And as you breathe in, you'll just reverse that curve the other way. And then taking that again. So I'm lightly pressing through my palms. And we're taking a good 3 or 4 seconds with each movement. So not trying to rush these, but using them to kind of sense where you are today as far as any stiffness or tightness goes. Finding your breathing pattern here. We're going to take this one more time. And using that breathing pattern to help you dictate the speed here of this movement. Now we're going to bring this back to neutral. And now we want to, for this next exercise, instead of moving the pelvis like we've been moving here, which is great, we start to get some synovial fluid in the spine and start to loosen everything up and around our hips. And now we want to stabilize our center and stabilize our spine. So as if you were going to cough, right? And you feel this engage, or as if someone were going to like give you a tap in the stomach and you kind of tightened up. That's the feeling you'd like here. So that as we shift our weight to the left, to the right shin, we're going to pick up that left foot and flex it like a donkey kick and raise it straight up. Now notice I didn't let my belly and my ribs fall out here, my arms collapse. So this is where we're going to really have some core strength developing. We're going to hold it for 3 seconds, and then we're going to let that knee swing forward. And again, I'm going to try not to round my back. So really keeping this motion happening from the hip. You're going to probably feel your core. You're going to probably feel that back leg and your rear end. So it's strengthening all the muscles around the hip. Then we let it swing. And again, we're just looking for as much stability through our torso as possible. So we're not letting it move around. And we're going to take this 2 more times. Pressing the heel up, squeezing your booty, and then relaxing and letting the knee swing through, and then pressing that heel up again. Keeping that middle strong and firm, and then letting it swing through, placing that leg down. Now we're going to send the rear end back to the heels here. You can walk the hands back. You can raise on the fingertips. And then rock the hips gently side to side here. Breathing. So if anything feels like it's stretching too much in your low back, back off, make the movement smaller, make the routine work for you. Now let's take the other side. So right foot flexes, we press it to the ceiling, we're hanging on to our middle, the booty's going to engage probably almost automatically, and then we swing that knee through. And then pressing up, breathing, and swinging the leg through. Again, really motion coming from the hip, stability through the torso, also through the spine. This is helping develop strength around the low back, the rear end, the hips, the hamstring. You might feel that back of the leg activating there. I know I do. Keep pushing through the palms or whatever you're on, your fists here, or if you're on that step stool. And one more time, pressing up, keeping that middle engaged, and swinging through, moving the rear end towards the heels. So you can go to where this works for you, rock the hips. If you were okay with taking a full child's pose here, go ahead and do that. Now we're going to walk our hands back if you're in child's pose. Bring yourself all the way up. We'll step the right foot forward. Now we're going to begin to engage your rear end here lightly, and I'm pushing down with the top of my foot and shin into the floor here. So that helps take a little pressure off my knee, and it helps to drive this hip forward. So we eventually like to get a straight line right here. We'll place the hands on the thigh, and I can push a little bit into the thigh to help me engage my booty and get a little bit more length here. Now from here, you can either stay, if you've got a great stretch, stay there. If you're okay, we're gonna start to come forward. Now this will be different for everybody. We'll stop at a different point. Eventually over time, you can keep bringing this forward. Now notice I'm not doing my chest forward. I'm keeping my chest up, and then we're just gonna push all the way back. Now you can stay there. If you're okay here, you can reach this arm up and simply breathe here. Now we're gonna get all of this hip flexor muscles right up into the psoas and the upper fibers opening. Now keep the chest up, squeeze the booty here a little bit, and go forward as far as you can go. And you will probably be feeling a stretch here. You might feel it in here. Breathe, and then come back up. And we're going to take it one more time. Coming forward. And then if you were okay here, again, you can have that both hands on the thigh, one hand, or you could have both arms up. But most importantly is chest up, rear end engaged lightly, finding your edge, and then coming all the way. We'll bring the hands down. We can wiggle the hips a little bit, swing that leg around, and let's just come to the other side. So stepping the left foot forward, hands on the thigh. I'm going to turn so you guys can see this a little bit better. So we're looking to get that straight line here, which mine didn't go straight for a long time. So you just keep working on it. Engage the rear end because it will actually signal these hip flexor muscles to let go. And then we come forward or not. You might come forward a little bit. You might have to adjust this front foot so it's not so far that you're not floating so far forward. Breathing and coming up. If you wanted to reach the arm up, again, this can be the end position. You could hold right here or coming forward. Now we do want to allow this knee to go forwards, not fall in. We want to keep it straight ahead, but let it go forward past the ankle. That's okay, as long as you don't have any pain there. And push up. And one more time. Engage the rear end. Raise the chest up. You're also going to probably feel your core engaging a little bit. You want to let that fall out there. If you're okay with two arms up, you could take it with both arms up. And then pushing up. We'll bring the hands down, wiggle the hips, swing that leg around. Again, you can just shift back to here, rock the hips. You could slide the arms out, take a full child's pose here. And then from here, we'll come up. I'm going to turn around again. And we're just going to take our left leg, slide it back, and just sweep it on the floor around. And then sweep it back. And sweep it back. So we're just going to lubricate. You might have to do a couple of inchworm little walks with that foot to bring it in towards the pinky finger. You could be up on your fingertips here to give you some more height. You could put your hands on a yoga block or a step stool to give you a little more height. But just creating some range of motion in the hips. And we'll take it one more time. And we'll even move the hips around here. So this is really, you can make circles. You could go side to side. You could stick the rear end back and wiggle the hips. You might start to feel the hamstring stretching there. All good stuff. And sweep. And back and around, wiggle it in. It might take a few wiggles to get it in. That's okay. Just keep working with it. Rock a little bit around. Maybe roll the thigh out. You might feel your inner thigh a little bit more. So you can kind of play around here a little bit. And then from here, we'll stick the rear end back, and that front leg might start to straighten until you feel a stretch behind that hamstring. Notice I'm trying not to round. I'm seeing if I can keep my chest reaching forward and my hips reaching back. Now we'll place that foot back, and let's just take the other side. So right leg sweeps around. we sweep it back. So we're going to do the first 3 pretty fluidly. Walk the foot in. I know it might take several steps there. That is fine. If we're not perfectly timed together, that's okay. Sweep it around. I do encourage you to let it drag on the floor if possible. So you're not picking it up here. We're going for ease of movement here. And now this time as we bring it around, we'll rock around. So you could do circles. So here our legs are fixed and we're moving the hips around. So we're massaging through that joint in a little different way. Called a closed chain movement. Sweep it back. And let's take it one more time. Wiggle that foot in. Again, if you roll that front thigh out, you might get a stretch up into the groin area. So again, you can kind of play around here a little bit. Always moving with intention. So you're not just flying around and thinking about something else, but paying attention to the sensations. Now we'll stick our rear end back. See if we can open the back of the leg a little bit more. It can be on your fingertips. You can walk your hands back to keep the spine nice and long. And then we'll bring forward, sweep this around, move the rear end towards the heels, and then child's pose or not. You can always be up here. So if you find that child's pose sometimes feels a little too much stretch on your low back or it's not that comfortable, you can always adjust it. Okay, now we're going to bring ourselves around onto the rear end and come into a bound angle position. Now you could sit up on a yoga block. So if your knees are up real high, there's a lot of tightness here and restriction in the hips, no problem. Raise your booty up some. Yoga block, a firm pillow, a couple of pillows, whatever we got around the house. And then you can bring the heels in as close as they'll go for you. So again, this will be different for everybody. And then we're going to actually take our hands behind us. Now your palms might be flat. You might be on your fingertips or fists. We're going to press the soles of the feet together and engage your rear end. So squeeze your booty lightly and you're going to probably notice your knees start to open up a little bit more because the muscles create the shape. So instead of us just pushing down, let's actually use the muscles that open the legs up, our hip rotators, by engaging the rear end to bring them there. Nice tall spine and breathing. And then we're going to let that relax. We're going to fold, this will be your right leg, I'm mirroring you, your right leg on top of your left. And then, so now you're a little bit sideways. Now just slide that right leg back. So this is position 1. You can lean forward here and rock around. Version or option 2 is to take this all the way over into a full pigeon position. And notice I didn't crank this foot forward. So this heel can be in quite tight. It can move out as you have the ability to. And then we'll take the forearms down to the ground and just rock in the hips. So either way, the back leg might be bent and you're sitting into the hip, leaning forwards, rocking around, if that works better for you, or you can come up. And of course, if neither of these work for you, you could always make this go on its back, which I give in some other videos. That's the other option. So any one of these positions. Now, as you're here, I would say push down with the outer edge of this front foot a little bit and the shin. Relax the shoulders. Rock the hips and breathe. And then we're going to lean off to the left. Now, this is where we'll all meet. Bring that right leg on top of the left. Now, let's just roll to the other side. Slip the left leg back. Here's position 1. Position 2 is to slide the left leg all the way back and come up into a pigeon position with this back leg straight. And you're going to feel most of the weight up on this front shin and lightly push down with the pinky toe side of the foot and the shin. And just rock the hips from side to side. Breathing. Nice long deep breaths, easy shoulders. Then from here again, we're going to lean into that right hip And this time we're going to swing this leg across, bring the feet to the floor. So if you were on your back for that other version of pigeon, you can just stay down there because we're going to come down and meet you. We're going to take the hands next to the sides of the body, thumbs to the ceiling, pinky fingers to the floor. Legs are about hip distance wide, so you'll see the thighs come straight up, knees in line with the hips. Push down with your feet, which are about under your knees. And we're going to drive our hips up into a bridge pose or Setu Bandhasana. Now really push down with the feet and engage your rear end lightly here. So that's going to help drive the hips up and open across the front. You can also push the pinky finger side of the hand and the tricep, the back of the arm into the floor to help you out here. Keep breathing. And then we'll let the arms go to the sides as we lower ourselves down. Bring one knee, then the other towards the chest and just rock around. So I'm circling both knees in the same direction and it rocks me around the back of my pelvis like a little massage. And let's take one more. Now you could do it exactly the same way, or you can reach the arms out to a V, push down through the feet and drive the hips up. Now, if you keep getting a cramp in your hamstring, that's probably trying to do the work that the glutes should be doing, and flexing your feet and pushing through your heels may help you out with that. So check out that version for yourself if you keep coming into that action. If not, you're pushing with both feet, reaching through the fingers, and then lowering yourself down. Again, bringing the knees into the chest. And we're going to come into a happy baby position. I'm going to give you 3 options. One is to just open the knees. You can grab onto the hamstrings or the shins, hang out here. 2 is flex the feet, bring the heels over the back of the knees, grab somewhere along your ankles, or you can even insert your fingers between your big toes. And 3 would be to grab the hands around the heel if you have that available to you. And then nice big breaths, just rocking from side to side. Shoulders and back relaxing into the mat. And then we begin to lower the heels towards the rear end. Slide the hands up the shins to the knees, give them a hug in. Drop the feet to the floor. Let the arms fall out. You can even let the knees bobble a little side to side, just giving a massage at the back of the pelvis. Before taking a moment, feel free to pause the video and hang out here for as long as you'd like. And when you're ready to just roll to the side, to bring yourself up, and you are ready to go into the rest of your day. And if you enjoyed this and want to take care of the rest of your body like you did your hips and low back, check out my Fit and Flexible for Life program. It's a 30-day online program of 10-minute-a-day routines that you'll actually do. For women over 50 who want to get their strength, stamina, and balance back, even if you're not flexible, even if you have previous injuries. You can check it out at fitandflexibleforlife.com, and I will leave that link in the description.